Yeah, I can see you fine. Can you hear me now?
I have always heard you and seen
Okay.
you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine now.
Oh,
I guess
great,
it was, I just had my microphones messed up or something. I had earplugs in for a while and that wasn't really a good deal. So I have to reboot it. So how you guys doing?
Okay, I guess. I mean, yeah, we have this Delta invading us, and
Yeah.
but most of us are still like we're trying to keep, staying home, and that would help. And so unless the necessary grocery trips and things that that we need, and I check into the school like once or twice a week to get my stuff back, some of the gradings that were left there
Mm-hmm.
before, but otherwise we're pretty okay because yeah, we're masked up and we have visor things now too.
Oh,
Like
wow.
we're like behind you on this.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. I was seeing that today. I was listening to an article about the AstraZeneca vaccine was being given out to people in Taiwan, and I was just wondering if y'all had been able to get your shots. It's kind of scary all the
I
way
know.
around. Here we go. We got some people in the view, so we'll start. Okay, let me. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello, good morning or good afternoon to you.
Good morning.
Good evening. I guess it's good morning to California, and it's good evening to
Armenia.
we have a lady from Taiwan that's with us today too. So we're all over the time zones in this
Yeah.
deal. Well, maybe we'll wait for the
Dr.
gentleman from
Florian.
California. How are you guys doing?
Thanks. We are fine. And you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Well, introduce yourselves when he comes on. We should be joined by another gentleman from the World Affairs Council. If he's coming in here, he's our vice president. So I'll start whenever the college president is there.
Yes. He will join us soon.
Okay, good. Looking forward to talking with you.
Same.
Are you both guys from? Are both of you from Yerevan?
Yes. I'm Arpine. I'm a GBU-AVC Partnership Coordinator, and I'm also working in hybrid education program with schools. And my colleague, Luisa Kirakosyan, she is responsible for partnership and marketing.
Oh, good, good, good. And Mimi's teaches at, Mimi, well, you introduce yourself, okay?
Okay, sure. My name is Mei Mary Shi, and I am a high school teacher in Taiwan. I'm also in charge of a number of international projects for my Ministry of Education. And we've been having video conferencing courses for 16 years now. So there are a lot of bumps along the way that we had overcome. And thanks to Mr. Cunningham, we were able to bring out a series of educational programs with many schools around the world. And we hope to expand that. And we hope to have a chance to, have courses that students take courses from your school, because we've heard so many good things about, the wonderful projects and the programs that you have. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words. Thank you. And thank you, Mike, for this opportunity.
Oh yeah, it's kind of fascinating. We live in a world in which rapidly is expanding all over the place, and education in the 21st century shouldn't necessarily be like it was before. So we're trying to prepare people for 22nd century already.
Yeah. I know you have completed our history course and you enjoyed it.
Yes? Oh yeah, it's fascinating. I've taken all of the history classes. I tried to take the architecture one, and it's just I'm doing too many other things right now to be doing that. And I took 2 music classes, and I really like the music classes too. I wish, you know, one of the things I'd like to do before I leave this world is I'd like to learn Armenian. I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know. I just got this odd feeling that I need to know it. And how it used to be very active in the Armenian Orthodox Church. I was the parish mission president for a while, the parish council, and then but they only met like a couple times a year. So I went to the Maronite church and then become a deacon in the Maronite church. But my heart's always been in Armenia. My family came from that area, and that's why I really liked about the history classes, because I got to learn quite a bit more about some of the people that I just knew names, and now all of a sudden I get to know a little bit more about them, and that was really fascinating. I mean, I couldn't get enough of that stuff. If you offer more, I take more.
Have you been to the country?
No, I never have. I've always wanted to go. In fact, a long time ago, I even tried to apply for, when they changed up that, and Georgia applied for second citizenships. That's still one of my goals, to try to get a second citizenship. I would love to get to go to part of the area. I tell you, of course, we're recording this now, but I don't know. I don't mind. I would love to try to convert Anatolia back to Armenian, and try to rid some of the well, I don't know how to put it nicely, but to try to change some of the minds of the people there to reestablish Armenia where it should be, not where it's at presently. Back to the borders, you know, back but maybe Tigran II or something to that effect. Here we go. There is the president, and he'll be joining us shortly, and we can start. I know it's good morning to you out in California, so you know that part. Yeah. Everybody else, it's a good evening. It's a late evening in Taiwan, so I guess we'll try to do this again, and let me try to start and restart, and I'll start recording again. Okay. Thank you very much for everyone joining. We'll have introduction in a second, but my name is Michael Cunningham from the World Affairs Council of Austin, Texas. And we gathered this august body here to discuss some pending matters about educational opportunities that we want to provide to some schools all around the world. And I teach at Del Valle High School. I've been working with Mary since 2009 that I know of. So it's been about 12, 13 years or thereabouts. And Mary, if you can introduce yourself from Taiwan, please.
Thank you, Mike. My name is Mary Shi. I am currently a high school teacher. I teach English language at a local high school in Taiwan. And I have been carrying out the video conferencing programs for nearly 16 years now. And because of Mr. Cunningham, we have had the honor to work with many, many schools around the world. I have been able to reach out to 50 countries around the world, and we have implemented all different kinds of educational programs with centering topics on all kinds, and also different kinds of ways, the debate and forums. And we really hope that the students from around the world can benefit from the programs that you are offering right now, because we have heard so many great things about the programs that you're offering. Thank you so much.
Okay, Erpan, if you could introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Yervan Zorian. I'm the founding president of the Armenian Virtual College. I'm based in Silicon Valley. it's a volunteer job for me to do the AVC effort. I'm a technologist. I work in as the chief technologist of a company called Synopsys, which is in the semiconductor business in Silicon Valley. AVC, we'll talk more about it. It has a very nice team in Armenia where we do the development of the products, let's say, and the servicing, meaning the teachers and the software are all done in Armenia. And we have nicely with us Arpine and Luisa. They can introduce themselves, and we can talk about AVC more if needed.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
I am Arpine. I am based in Yerevan, in Armenia, and I am AGBU AVC Partnership Coordinator. And I am also working with hybrid schools around the world.
And I'm Louisa. Arpine briefly introduced me. I am Partnership and Communication Specialist at AVC, and I work with another colleague, Naira, but I will be here joining you today.
Okay. Michael, I know you know well about AVC. You have been involved with AVC for some time. We appreciate that. Your activities through AVC and also this opportunity that you would like to extend to link AVC to this World Affairs Council activity. I don't know if Mary knows enough, Mary, about AVC. Do you want us to say a few words, or she's already briefed?
Because we're going to share this with other people too. So go ahead and explain about AVC and Armenian Virtual College.
Sure. So the Armenian Virtual College is an educational institute. It started by being an online resource for whoever needs to know about Armenians and Armenia around the world. So we have started our work back in 2004 and initiated the effort. We prepared 3 tracks of courses, one on Armenian language with 8 levels, one on Armenian history with 8 levels as well, from the ancient history to Middle Ages to modern, and the third one on Armenian culture, Armenian music, Armenian architecture, chess even being part of the Armenian culture. And we have, besides, so the courses were offered initially for individuals around the world who want to take it, and we give it on a quarterly basis. Every quarter we offer the courses, but we made sure from the beginning, based on the practices of e-learning, that they are not self-study courses only, but we do them as groups. So there are virtual classrooms and there are virtual instructors. Arpine used to be a virtual instructor. Now she moved into being part of the partnership program. But we have a very nice network of online instructors who join the virtual classrooms. I know Michael was working with Annie, for instance, as one of our virtual instructors. So it's a combination of using the technology, multimedia technology, not just text, not only video Zooms, not only audio lessons, but rather combine them all together, have virtual interactive activities to make it more engaging. And not do that only for the student by himself or herself, but also add it with a virtual classroom. So it's 50-50, things that you do alone and things that you do with a group, okay? So we made that formula from the beginning, that is having it 50-50, having the technology side of it being advanced enough. So we have a technology team here in Silicon Valley. We look at the most recent techniques and approaches. Also, we have a pediatric pedagogic team that looks at the pedagogy of what is going on, and again, keep it up to date. So it's true that we started 15 years ago, but we kept updating. For instance, just last year, we introduced the new language 2.0 version of the language program. I don't know if, Michael, you have studied with the older version or with the renewed one, but we keep upgrading our program, okay? So a few more things to say about AVC as well, 2 things maybe. One is the fact that we did start a group hybrid, we call it, a group program for people to use it in schools as an online methodology, okay? So meaning face-to-face schools, not only individuals, but groups of people can also host AVC and can have an on-site instructor. So we trained a large number of on-site instructors around the world. There are many Armenian schools around the world. Armenians, you know, they are a global nation. About 80% of Armenians are living outside Armenia. So 20% or so live in Armenia and 80% are outside Armenia. So that's why we have many schools, many universities that like to give our program in a classroom, in an actual classroom. So besides the virtual classroom, we created these hybrid classrooms in existing institutions. And so far we have 40 such institutions, from high schools to university programs that do offer the courses in a hybrid way, meaning physically they come with each other and they use. So this is the second program. And the last one, the third and the last one, we try to see what can we do as virtual experiences for non-students. Okay, again, teach them or share with them information. So we did ebooks. So I know if Michael, you had an option to see some of our ebooks on Apple, Android, or browser about the capital of Armenia, about ancient Armenia, about the south of Armenia, the Wine Valley, and so on. So these are nice interactive books, again, always using text, video, audio, and so on. So a nice mix of them with lots of 360s and so on, nice combinations. So this was one virtual experience. The last virtual experience that we did from COVID and on was to create virtual tours and virtual activities. We had some of them for our classrooms, but we opened it for the general public. So we have now about 25 museum virtual tours that you can go and visit this painter, that musician, that so there are lots of nice virtual tours, and also various Armenian customs and festivities and so on. We have virtual tours for those as well. So we teach the concept about the Armenian culture through virtual tours. And we can show you many examples of these three things. That is the regular classrooms for virtual students, the hybrid classrooms of people physically coming together, and non-students, people who in general want to know without credit about Armenian aspects. So we organize various things like that, including various mini conferences, symposia, seminars, and so on virtually, and it's disseminated. And the final note, the numbers. So numbers today, we have over 40,000 people among these three programs, between people being students in classrooms, as well as ebooks. I can break them down if you want to know more about each one of them. Michael, in your case, I think you belong to the first group. You did the virtual student approach with AVC?
Yes.
Okay. And which courses did you go through?
I've gone through 9 now, 7 in history. I've taken all the history. I'm waiting on the last one for the 20th century. And I took the 2 music classes. I was going to try 2 other ones, but I guess I kind of got cold feet or whatever. I really enjoyed the history ones. They were, I was telling earlier, absolutely really interesting to me because my family came from Armenia, and all of a sudden I get to study much more about my family history that I had no idea about. So that was very, very exciting for that aspect. And which is really kind of strange because the family started out in China and they end up marrying into Armenia, and then you go that direction. So I started thinking about this. Well, I started taking the classes, to be real honest with you, because I was interested in trying to propose something like this. And I said, well, they're good enough for the students. I'd like to try to take them and see what they're like for myself. So This is one of the few times where I actually have been investigating this for a long time before this came about. And I can vouch very, very strongly for the fact that this is a very excellent program that you guys are doing. This is probably one of the few things that I could actually see that would actually make a big difference. A lot of times people think that Armenia is just a small little insignificant country in the middle of nowhere. But, once you start studying the history of Armenia, you can see how it relates to almost everywhere in the world. It was basically in the crossroads of the world, and many of us have Armenian heritage and may not even know about it. had a meeting at the, oh gosh, this is back in 2008. It was a long time ago. I had a congressman, and he came to our Armenian church. And I was telling him that George W. Bush was both Armenian and Georgian. And he looked at me, so I didn't think that George W. Bush was both Armenian and Georgian. But I said, yeah, you know, you could look at your genealogy and you can see that. So there are a tremendous amount of people that's heritage. And this is something that needs to be brought out, especially when you start looking at a global thing. It's very difficult to start being, I don't know how you want to put it this way, but I could go into all kinds of stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just get really charged up with Armenian history. I'm sorry. Don't bring that up, President. I'm sorry.
That's very interesting. That's actually, we have to talk about that some other day in more detail. I mean,
Yeah, well,
and because this is exactly the purpose of AVC. AVC's purpose was just to reach people who have not gone through this, inform them, engage them, and so on, and take it from there and move forward. People with Armenian heritage and without Armenian heritage.
Well, you know, this was really something that comes to mind. The World Affairs Council a couple of weeks ago sponsored the Armenian ambassador from the United States and gave a talk in Boston. And Boston has the second largest group of people outside of Glendale in the United States, as far as, you know, up there by Worcester and the areas around Boston. And he didn't mention anything at all about Woodrow Wilson, or didn't mention anything at all about, you know, Henry Cabot Lodge Sr. and voting down the League of Nations, or the, you know, things like that, which basically takes apart the whole Republic of Armenia, when we didn't send over the 55 to 85,000 peacekeeper troops and stuff, you know. So I thought sometimes even maybe history for this is not being taught here in the United States that way. I think we could really do a much better job of teaching how our history relates to other people's history too, that's not being taught. So this is a real passion of mine. I'm sorry.
Perfect. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, there are some new opportunities, Michael. We can talk about them also some whenever you want, if it's out of the scope of today's meeting.
Yeah, okay,
but there are some after the recent history in Armenia, the recent last few months of activities and so on. There is an effort to introduce these topics worldwide. So there are a couple of small think tanks being created in Armenia to do this, and with your ideas, you can I think be helpful to disseminate that further. Okay.
Yeah, well, you know, you're exactly right, because they can rewrite history, and all of a sudden what used to be ancient Armenia becomes part of Azerbaijan, which isn't even a country. And I don't understand this, but, you know, and then the people just accept it like it's the truth.
Exactly.
Well, it's not anywhere like that at all. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Okay, Mary, does this give you some idea about AVC and what it does today? And how does that relates to the programs that you do? Does it fit somewhere with what you do today? Is it different?
Well, I was going to show you something here, our proposal sort of. Let me try to share a screen here and show you what we're thinking about. And I think it could fit. Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I think it's just great, because I remember a few years ago, Mr. Cunningham and I, we did a Armenian mock trial. Remember that time? And it was a huge thing. I also had the people from our Ministry of Education come and observe, and it was on their newsletter too. And so I think this would be great in letting other, you know, students or more students from Taiwan know more about Armenian culture, because that's not, you know, introduced enough in our history, for all I know. I'm not a history teacher, but, you know, I gather a lot of information from students. I interacted with them really close, and so they share a lot of what they have learned with me, and I don't see a lot of this in their other curriculum. So I would like to bring the world to, you know, the world history to their to their you know, in a very natural way. I think your approach is excellent, and I would believe that students around the world would really benefit greatly from this.
Yeah, for the 100th anniversary, we had a worldwide hookup with about 14 schools from around the world, and we had the Ministry of Education in Armenia and the Genocide Holocaust Museum, Genocide Museum there when they opened up. And Mary had the people from Ministry of Education, and we had a mock trial against Talat Pasha for the genocide, and they were being judges, and we were offering the prosecution's point of view for it. We didn't offer any justification, but we're just trying to say why he should have been justified, and they should have brought charges against him. So that's what she was talking about. That was for the April 24th, 1915 version, and I can send you a copy of it later.
Yeah, I'll be very interested. It's a great initiative. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. This is our World Affairs Council of Austin Armenian Virtual College proposal. And why Armenian Virtual College is it's an opportunity to promote Armenian education all around the world. I actually think it's an opportunity to promote education all around the world. And that's really what I want to look at too. Michael Cunningham, and there's some of my families that from Armenia. If they're everybody, I cannot speak Armenian at all, but I come from a very rich family of people that were Armenians. I think my last Armenian relative is around 1,200. Our proposal, try to move this. Our proposal is that would like to bring virtual college classes to some schools internationally for the fall of 2021. We want to work with the ministries of education in each country to represent and officially accept AVC credits. We think that's very important, especially in this hybrid deal, both on high school and college type level. We'd like to work with international colleges and universities. Mary's is associated with a university. We have a school in Ghana that's associated with the university. We have a school in Guatemala that's associated with the university. So we'd like to have some like university type exchanges. We want hybrids, we'll offer like hybrid asynchronous classes in Armenian language if they're interested in Armenian history and Armenian culture. Okay.
Yes.
Basically now anyway, so it's not even real different. What we will offer is we'd like to propose maybe 5 or 6 sites. We have 186 schools around the world that are going to be doing this with us this next year. But we'd like to just propose to start out with 5 or 6 sites to make it reasonable, but work with 5 or 6 sites that have very dynamic teachers that will work with their Ministry of Education and stuff too, which will always help out, I think, all the way around. And what the Armenian Virtual College will provide would be asynchronous type of classes. Work with the Armenian Minister of Education to maybe obtain 1 or 2 high schools in Armenia to participate with our program. Work with no more than 20 schools, but more than likely 5. Maintain free tuition for these students just for this year. You've been doing it for the last year, so I don't know if that's a possibility or not. Proposed high schools, we have a school in Guatemala. We have a school in Austin, Texas, where I teach Del Valley. We have a school in Taiwan where she teaches. We have another school in Taiwan, which is actually on mainland China. It's a little island off that, and Mary could tell you more about that in a second. So we have 2 in Taiwan, and then we have 1 in Lebanon, and we have 1 in Morocco. And both of them are very dynamic people. I know the teacher, and Mary's worked with the teacher from Lebanon for a long period of time. And she happens to not be Armenian or anything, but she's very open-minded and a very good teacher and very into bringing international stuff. The people from Morocco are, oh gosh, they work with the Ministry of Education there too, and so does the lady from Lebanon. So we basically will have 3 or 4 places that will be working with Ministry of Education. We will have 62 countries this next year, 186 as we speak, and I just put some of the countries up there. Armenian Virtual College Unit 11, this is our unit. We have 15 different units in our classes we're advertising. I'd like to try, the one in Guatemala would like to try Spanish. The ones in Taiwan want to try English. The one in Lebanon, it could be done in French or English. And and that's where we're at right there. And I was trying to get a hold of a lady, there's a pretty dynamic teacher in Russia to teach one in Russian, but I hadn't gotten back, so I can't really vouch for what she's saying right now. 2021, AGBU, Armenian Virtual College, is pleased to announce the opening, and this is basically off your stuff here. And what I was trying to do is send that to the people, they could look and see Eastern Armenian, Western Armenian, history of Armenia, and then it would just go to your link to where it would have that. And you can take, like he was saying, you have 2 in each area, so you have 8 classes, except the second one, and this one's not quite ready yet. But you can take the 2 classes that go all the way from BC area. A lot of people may not realize that Armenia is in one of the cradles of civilization, and then it goes to the 20th century today. So it's really kind of fascinating. I find it to be very, very interesting to me. Okay, let me try to get back to the thing. I'm sorry.
Maybe some minor clarifications. Okay.
Yeah.
When you say a course, so would you think of Unit 11 being a single course or a collection of courses?
Collection of courses.
Okay.
When we say, when I was saying Unit 11, we had 15 units.
Yes.
And each unit would like one unit would be mock trials or something that effect that we're doing. So it would be a whole year's worth of mock trials. This unit would be a whole year's worth of courses and stuff like that. So my goal was to try to expose these people to, because the way things have happened, Mary will tell you that in the United States, we had COVID really early, and we were out for a year and a half almost. They were wondering, scratching their heads for a long time, and then they just went out about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and they're in that Delta variant. So the problem is, let me try to get this back again. The problem is that we could do this, and you would have an excellent education, and if you could do it, you could do it asynchronously from the house. You could do it from the school. You could do it from anywhere, and it just makes it a 21st century type of proposal. Okay. Now, sorry about this.
Sure. So the other units, the 15 units that you have, they are all going to be taught in an asynchronous manner, or
No. Many of them are live or in Zoom. Okay, that was what I was trying to explain. Many of the stuff we have is live. I didn't know how much of that to live, and I really can't. Let me try to get off this a second, and I'll try to go the other way. Many of the I can't promise. I can't. I was just asking because I didn't know if we could go live on your classes. So the way we were going to do it, because we'll have so many different time zones. Okay, and then we go to the next one. I pressed the slide here and I cannot get around it.
Yeah, maybe if it's not live on a weekly basis, but let's think of having a live component.
Oh yeah. Oh, that
and also have a connection between those schools that are doing it, even though there'll be some language barriers between the local schools, but still one can think of doing it maybe in English, whatever is the common language between them, linking them together. ABC has that ability between its hybrid classrooms, so we connect them to each other as well, if you think there is a value there too. So it can be live for individual schools, but also live between the schools.
Yeah, I think I'll just pull off of my proposal, because I'll just send it to you, because I've lost it somehow in this deal. But you're exactly right. That's what we wanted to do, but we wanted to make it but we wanted to make it an impression that, this would be the minimum. We would love to be able, because Mary and I will talk, and we'll do, we have scheduled events. And I could show you this other one in a second, but we have like 15 units, and one unit could be, we're doing units on like Jamboard things. We're doing things on Flipgrid. We're doing all kinds of different modalities of technology. We're doing genocide units. We have a wonderful unit on the Armenian genocide. The problem is we have also 10 schools in Turkey, And this last year, I tried to, you won't believe this one. I actually had a principal, well, I had a teacher who said that we're going to have a trial and they were going to defend Talat Pasha, and we were going to prosecute him until the principal found out, and then they were going to pull the, they could all be arrested. So, you know, I could just see the,
It's true, yeah.
I could just see, okay, we're going to cause an international incident here, but it went all the way down to about 2 weeks before then they had to pull out. So yeah, we're trying to really push the envelope on some of the stuff. So that really wasn't what I was trying to
Excellent.
do.
That's very exciting. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that would be the best thing to explain.
Yeah.
Mary knows a little bit about me. I take something and
And
run with it.
Run with it. I see that.
And I thought, well, you know, it was really good, but yeah, they're in some issues of denial, and you know,
Yes.
you can't fault them too much. And it's kind of like what you were talking about earlier. Some of these revisionist people have completely forgot history, and that's really why it's such importance to know it better.
Yeah, I think it's good that the students get excited about the courses, because normally, you know, they don't. they feel bored when they are lectured again and again. And so
Yes.
if we can have these, you know, those live synchronous events like video conferencing scheduled periodically, perhaps once a month or once every 2 months would be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Students have something to look forward to. They will
Exactly.
be preparing full speed ahead. They want to look good. You know, they don't want to embarrass themselves. They want to look good and well prepared. And so they will be, you know, very well focused in class, and then they will, you know, be attentive, and they will learn as much, and then they can present, you know, it's a checkpoint for all the schools, I believe.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So that's something we can do. If you want, we can do this. Our online instructors, our live sessions, virtual tours, maybe we can do them once a month, as you said. Between those, everything can be asynchronous. They go and find it and learn it in their language of preference and so on, with what Michael has chosen. Michael, besides those 4 topics that you chose, a little bit of language, a little bit of old history, new history, and so on. In case we would like to not use the existing courses as is, we can also pull pieces together. For some schools, we did that. So we can compose something. If you want a unit on 1 week of music, 1 week of this, a little bit of that. So we can do again a collection of topics for your annual program. I don't know how many weeks. Let's say you have 26 weeks, okay? And how many hours per week? You can say how many. It's twice a week new lessons, or once a week. So we can decide. So we can architect it as well from the existing courses, but we can pull material and package them together. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can do repackaging if needed.
That sounds really good. And we were thinking that I know Mary has a good in with the Minister of Education over there, Ministry of Education. And we were thinking that, you know, if we could get them to not accredit it, but, you know, to count or to work with us on these type of programs, this will really help out the oh gosh, I don't know what you're trying to say, but yeah, it would really help out everybody involved in this. We get like 5 or 6 ministries of education to start backing the things as well.
Yeah.
Because we were really
those courses are certified courses, and the program for you to know that we are even have the possibility, and we do that periodically, to give master's degrees for people who take the entire track. By the way, Michael, from what you described, what you have taken so far, you must be eligible or very close to be eligible to get a master's degree in Armenian culture and history. If that's something you're interested in, we can look at it as well. Okay.
Yeah,
From
that'd
ABC.
be great.
So ABC has officially recognized by the Ministry of Education in Armenia to give 2 master's degrees, one in Armenian language, one in Armenian culture and history. In your case, you would qualify for the second.
Yeah, that's really what I'd like to do. You know,
okay.
One day I'd like to go live in Armenia, but also visit. But also I'd like to get that would be great, and I'd like to get a second citizenship from Armenia too. It's just really important. But but as we speak here, I think not only could you get teachers, but I think we could get a lot of students. Mary and I both shared some fascinating students from the past. And when we did the thing on the Armenian genocide in 15, I mean, it's amazing because we had parents that were with Mary. We had the Minister of Education, and the Minister of Education said he didn't know any of this stuff had taken place, you know. So there are a lot of things you could open up that I think that you would really open up the eyes to a lot of people, and they will be the next leaders of the world. So that would end up, we may not have some of the problems we have today if our leaders had a little bit more open mind and open eyes.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so this is all possible, I think. I don't see a problem there. Having the course in multiple languages would help as well. But again, repackaging or pulling pieces together from different courses is also a possibility. And we create a platform for that. I don't know if you have seen some of our platforms that we did. For instance, during COVID, we created something called the Armenian Learning Zone. Michael, did you go through that at all?
No.
Arpine, if you have 2 minutes, maybe you can just pull that and show it just for a feel to see how a platform can be. And some of those topics can be also of interest. So if you can maybe demo to us the English version of ALZ, Armenian Learning Zone. So Armenian Learning Zone was such that when the schools closed, when the parents were at home and so on, so we said, it's an opportunity for us to offer something for them to do, to learn, and so on. We have so much material in multimedia form. So what we did is we chose topics. Initially, it was per day. Then we turned it per week because when things started to open up. So every day they would go to learn about a particular musician, a particular architectural site, a particular capital of Armenia, a particular well-known individual. So it was, we have done more than 40 of those, I think. And what we do is not a live session only, but we start by putting multimedia resources per topic.
I can't share my screen. Could you please?
Oh, I'll start. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll give you the.
So we put material for them to read it in an asynchronous way during the week. At the end of the week, we have a live person, expert coming and talking about that particular topic. Michael, you would be able to register to it and see, since you have an account with Armenian Virtual College. Mary, of course, can also do that, and these are all free of charge and so on. So this is the Armenian Learning Zone, the English version of it. So this is in the platform. So this is inside Moodle. It's a dedicated page in Moodle. You see here day 1, 2, 3. So these are the episodes. Okay. Here is the 33, for instance. What's the topic? No, this was an exhibition. This was projects by the students, which is very good as well. But let's go through. These are, we asked the students or the followers to do something about their own cities, their own countries. Which one is this? No, not this one. This one was the most recent one on the history. Let's go down. Let's stop on this one, for instance. What does it say? Armenian Fine Arts, 20th and 21st century. Okay, so here you see something about a particular area, a Kafesyan Center. You see a virtual tour of that. You see architecturally how it looks. And these are from resources that we have in our courses or ebooks. So we have posted 6 resources as such. Michael, if you have been to Armenia, to the Kafesyan Center, you would know some of this. And then at the end, we bring a person who gives us an actual tour. This is the meetup session. And then we post even the recording of that meetup session of the Kafesyan Center. Okay, it's one where there are paintings from Minas, from Varuir, and so on. This is Parajanov. If you know, he's a film director, well known during the Soviet time, Armenian origin. He has different things about Armenia, very famous movies. So we showed that again in multiple multimedia things for asynchronous learning. And we finished it with an actual tour of his museum, guided by the director of the museum of the of the Babajanian Center. So this to show that we can put a date, a topic, and so on, and put certain resources, perhaps for every week. And then the totality can be a course they would follow, in which you can bring in midterms, exams, and so on, as you do for other courses. This was for the Babajanian topic. And if I click on this, I would go to the museum tour itself and so on. Okay. In this case, it's a book from Léon Surmelian. He's a very well-known American writer from Armenian origin, and he wrote one of his books, very well-known. In 1946, he became the bestseller of that period. It is about his history. So I don't know if you have read this book, Michael. I recommend that you do. It is his memoirs during the genocide time as a young child born in Trabzon, and how he arrived to America, but through step by step. So this was a nice session, and they spoke about the book and the history behind the book and so on. So there's a live session at the end. And the book was provided in electronic form for people to read it. Armenia is well known in sciences, so this particular episode was about Puragan. This is the observatory where you watch the stars and so on, and it starts from the old ages. So there is an area in Armenia, the Tsorakar area, and Karahunch. These are the old Armenian observatories 7,000 years ago. So we start from the old history and we come to the current modern observatory, where Victor Hampartsumian was the founder of that observatory, and several others who followed him. That was, for instance, scientific topic. This one is more architecture oriented. This is the Akhtamar island, which is today in Turkey on Lake Van. So it shows the city and the palace and the cathedral of Akhtamar. So again, multiple topics or multiple resources for asynchronous study, videos, ebook, lessons, and so on, ending up with a particular session where an expert would come and talk about the history. So Arpine is showing us one of the resources. From an ebook that was covering the Akhtamar topic. The Holy Cross Church, the story of the people in Akhtamar, and so on. There's a song about Akhtamar, it's posted here as well. So it's a variety of resources, from a song to architectural study to social aspect to anthropology around it. Episode 26, the national dances. So these are the Armenian dances. Again, various things about the history of Armenian dance, how did it start, different regions in Armenia, how do they dance, what does it mean, the happy dances, the sad dances, the fighting dances before going to war, and so on, and all the costumes associated with them. And the live session was with an expert of Armenian dance who went through the different types of Armenian dances and covered that. Okay. Using samples of the dancers as backup, so on and so forth. So this is a lady, Diana Apkar, the first Armenian diplomat. She was the ambassador of Armenia to Japan in 1918. She helped with the genocide survivors who came through Asia to Japan. So she helped them go to California at that time, and she was a very important figure in Japan at that time as the ambassador of Armenia from 1918 to 21. Diana Apkar. Finally, this is one of the musicians, the Armenian musicians who wrote a couple of operas, Dikran Chukajans. This is about Armenian opera, Arshak II, and the history behind it, and featuring Dikran Chukhajian at large. Okay, so pieces from the opera, some analysis, some interviews about his life, and something about the Armenian opera building itself. It's a very well-known place. And the person who was doing that is is here, who has given us the lecture in English. So lectures are in English, also in Armenian if one wants to, but the material is in multiple languages. So Gerard Papazian did this. I will stop here just to, it was not intended to cover the entirety, so you have many of those. If you're interested, you can just log in and see all the resources and the recorded sessions and so on. But basically, it's the Armenian, again, culture, history, heritage. Okay.
That was very good. Thank you so much. I think this is really profitable. I know it's really late for Mary, and then Mary, do you have any questions that I probably could tell you a lot more about how these courses work, because the courses are really well laid out. They have video, they have interactions. If we talk, each class will have maybe 8 or 9 parts to them, and then each part will have 4 or 5 different parts. And normally it's read by somebody in that language, and you read it, you see it, pictures, and then you can do more different studies and stuff as well. So it reinforces a lot, especially if let's say you're doing yours in English, and English isn't your first language. They're getting to hear the English language from somebody. They get to see the English language, and you get to learn about an entirely different subject. So this could be a really good way to teach foreign languages in a second language about a country, which is very important. Mary, what's your thought?
I have no doubt that this is a very well developed and well organized program. I mean, from all that I've seen and all I've heard from Mr. Cunningham, my question would be, is there an approximate estimate of how much the students should be pulling into their commitment? Because I think that is something that we as teachers should, tell the students ahead of time what you should put forth. Yes.
Yes. In our current courses, as Michael has identified those few courses, language-wise or history-wise, we estimate 6 hours per week per student. Okay, it's our estimation. Some people put less, some people put more. Depends how their learning skills, how much deeper they want to go through it, and so on. Now, for your courses, it depends how you look at your courses. We can lighten it, we can strengthen it. So all of this is electronic, so we can customize it. You can do 2 lessons per week, or you can do 1 lesson per 2 weeks. So we can play with that as necessary in all the aspects. So whether it's the regular courses of language and history, or some of these repackaged aspects that we can bring in, some tours, some heritage topics, and so on. So in both cases, the density or the intensity is customizable depending on the age of the students and how much weight you want to put on them.
And also there should be checkpoints and maybe some kind of a testing to see how much they've learned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a final exam for each one, and it's a 45-minute exam, and then they have exams after each lesson. So yeah, it's very easy to do. I mean, you can do it with the instruction. You can do it. It's a lot better if you have a teacher with you. So this is probably one of the best ways to teach languages. I just think this is really good. Mary, once you see this, you'll really enjoy it. I'll just put it that way. And
I would need to present
Yes.
the proposal also to not only the school but also to students, and let them know what they're getting on board about. And also I think the checkpoints of the quizzes after each lesson and the final exams are very good. What happens if they don't pass? Is there something to have them do as a makeup test, or what?
We can introduce that. With ABC, we give them extensions, we give them the possibility to repeat the course again, and we give them access to the course and the material for following terms, right? In case they don't finish it in the same term. So we're a little bit lenient, because the purpose is to make them learn more than anything else.
Yeah, and actually, having taken all these courses, you really learn so much, and they have multiple choice. They also have like matching, and then they'll have an essay part too. So they end up with, in every one I've had, and it's pretty straightforward. So it's not like it's something like I've like I've seen some places where they teach you physics and they give you a test on chemistry. No, this is basically they're testing over what you've seen. So it's not a it's very well designed. I can attest to that. And the essay questions are normally they give you a choice, so you pretty much have a pretty broad understanding. So whenever they grade your essay, they can tell, did you really gain what did you gain from this? So it's not just all matchings, it's not all that either. So if somebody has that, also can look at this way, the students will get a very good understanding of English, because if you can master master writing the essay and matching and stuff, you get a heads up on other schools. So you'll be knocking on the top school there in Taiwan.
Yeah.
They're number 2 right now, I think, or something. So that they want to go to number 1.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good way of learning language via a topic. So while you're discussing the topic, you're also learning language instead of just learning the language by grammar or by vocabulary only. This is by using it. I'm sure you do that also with different topics.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay, so what do we need to do to make sure this becomes a reality then?
Okay. In terms of, you know much better what you need from your end. If you need some samples to show, we can open it to certain individuals, and of course to Mary, others. So you decide who you want to for them to see it. If you want us to have a live session to demo it to a certain number of people, we can do that. But you can do that, Michael, yourself as well. So demo it to people, show them, and so on. In terms of architecting it, you decide the content, and we can deliver either as you already determined, some language courses and some history courses. That's perfect. Or you can decide to do it more granularly by deciding how many weeks you want. We can actually create a platform, as you have seen, that listing, and we have lesson per week that we can post. Okay. And that they can use the platform as their course, which would be a composite course from various sources. Okay, that is also possible. We can work the monthly event as well. Also, we can work with the on-site instructors through our online system. So meaning if the on-site instructor, the person in Morocco, in Lebanon, in Guatemala need any help and so on. So our online instructor team, Annie, Arpine, others will be able to handhold them as necessary. So besides the online material, we can also give the teachers certain level of support and help to make this happen nicely. The number of schools, you decide how many schools would participate, but the variety is very interesting. Having people from Morocco to Guatemala to Russia and so on to Taiwan, of course. So it will be very nice to see the network. And also we can bring in schools from Armenia to this, even though topically for the schools of the same age kids may not be new topic for them, but to be part of this network is important, and they can learn from the exchange, the group activities and so on. So we can work with schools in Armenia to have 1 or 2 of them join this network.
Oh yeah, that would be really good. That'd be very fantastic. I will send you that proposal, and then I will send you guys a couple other ideas, and I will talk to Mary, and we'll get everything situated probably by the end of the week, and we'll try to set it up so we can maybe start in the fall, to your fall quarter or whatever that is, to try to do that. Because I really think that we have the same type of vision. We're trying to really help out, and I don't know how COVID's going to impact any of this stuff. And we could do this no matter if we have COVID, or we're back to full level learning or whatever. This is a very good type of a program to do. I would like to ask you a question. What got you interested in starting this back in 2004?
Our kids. So we have our kids who wanted to learn Armenian. We live in Silicon Valley. We don't have Armenian schools. So back in 2004, we thought e-learning is starting to catch up, and I'm in the middle of the technology in Silicon Valley. So we saw other people starting to use it. It was not very common yet. So we started thinking of how to create it. Of course, content creation would have been Armenia because they have historians, linguists, and so on. Technology creation, also I've worked with Armenia for technology creation itself. So in our companies, I go to Armenia from the early 90s, developing technology there. So I said, okay, so we can do the R&D there technically. We can do the topic areas. So there are three things always needed. You need the technology, you need the topic experts, but also you need the pedagogists. So we engage with a number of online pedagogy experts here at Berkeley, at Stanford, in Torino, in Paris. So we found out that online pedagogists to do the best practices. And that was possible. So we did that nicely back at that time. We arranged for the funding. AGBU was very good from day one. From 2006, they started providing us annual funds to realize this. And until now, they do that very nicely. The first 2 years we did it just based on volunteer expertise from Armenia and diaspora.
Yeah, and Mary just brought up a question. She was thinking about maybe we should limit the amount of students, per taking one of these classes for each school, maybe do like 10 or something to that effect. We didn't really want to overload anybody, and I know like Anna has got a big workload anyways, and I've had her do a couple things for us, and she's a very marvelous teacher. But we're just so excited that we didn't want to wait any longer to try to do this, and I think it's a really good opportunity. And it sounds like, although we'd like to probably teach Armenian as well, we're trying to look more at it at trying to teach more people about Armenia. That
Yes.
way, because
I agree.
most of us may. Like when the Minister of Education was there in 2015 in Taiwan, he was just shaking his head. He had no idea what was going on. We asked the students, they had never heard about this before. Even when we polled our students here in the United States, no one is really taught too much about some of these things. So if they're able to do this, if we're able to get the word out to other people and then they become leaders in their community or whatever, this is going to have a very strong impact, as Mary said. We're about to change the world on how people think.
That's perfect. That's from Michael. Given that, and that's my experience as well. That is teaching history, culture, and so on a little bit more than the language. So I wouldn't say it should be half-half, because if you teach the Armenian language, some basics is good, but these people will not be fluent in the language.
Right.
And if they don't have opportunity to use it, somebody in Guatemala, in Morocco, or in Taiwan, they will not be able to speak or to utilize it. Therefore, just learning the language conceptually is good enough, but not necessarily fluently, right? If we all know, if you don't use the language, you forget it, even if you spend an effort on it. I learned Japanese when I was working at Bell Labs at the time, but I didn't use it. Therefore, it disappeared. So I don't think it is worthwhile investing too much time in the language unless they know a little bit of the basics of language. But more important things that you remember are the unique characteristics of that heritage, of the history, of the culture. So if we can concentrate more on history and culture and less on the language, I think will be more a better experience for the students.
Yeah, so I was thinking about one of Mary's former students. I know quite a few of her students from doing this. Was Tony, and Tony ended up going to University of Hong Kong with an international degree in business. I was thinking, and then she had another student that just got married a week or so ago, and he's an attorney, and he's probably going to end up being a politician in Taiwan. But you know, if you can get some of these people in these different countries to actually know about all this stuff, we're doing a very good job. You know,
Absolutely.
it's a lot easier to sit down if your friends have some common deal than it is just to talk as enemies. And we could go back to recent developments, even with that took place in the fall there in Armenia, or your election about a week ago Sunday in Armenia. You know, there's a tremendous amount of revision that needs to, somebody needs to start stamping out. And I think the best way to do it is through education.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this will be wonderful, actually.
Okay.
It's really wonderful. We can provide very good background, and these kids will grow up with some knowledge about Armenians. That will be quite useful.
Yeah, we're looking at two groups of people. Most everybody that's participating in these programs are going to go on to college. Many of them are going into international politics or that. So they're doing that type of level of learning English for international. So this will be kind of helpful in that. My school particularly, we're doing a lot for legal aspects. And we're doing a lot of mock trials and moot courts and stuff, but we're using Armenian genocide and some other things that never took place. You know, which is kind of neat. Instead of doing the Trillian trial, which took place about 100 years ago, earlier this month, we're trying to take, you know, how you could try somebody for war crimes and genocide. It should have taken place, okay? You know, instead of taking it on your own. So we're teaching people justice, but you end up having to teach the people history as well. So that's what we're trying to say. And you guys provide such a great opportunity, and I could not say enough about how wonderful this experience has been. I've written several times to Anna, and I've written to other people, explain about how marvelous I really think that this school and the work that they're doing. So this is a case of somebody is trying to help you guys out in my humble way, but I really feel like this is an important thing to do, and the mission that you guys are doing, the work you're doing is really fantastic.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks a lot, and I really appreciate your feedback, your willingness to help further. This fits exactly with our mission, and anything we do together, I think we'll further that. We'll take it even beyond. So yes, our first circle is to reach to Armenians like you and teach them their heritage. But the next very important circle is to go beyond Armenians and to teach the Armenian heritage and culture and so on to many people who don't have Armenian roots, but they will like to know, they will be interested to know, they'll engage and go further.
Thank you so much. I know that it took up a lot of your time today so far, but I really appreciate it. Mary, do you have anything to say or questions?
No, I'm just so excited. This is just, you know, so wonderful, you know, getting everyone connected, and also, you know, in a tight group, and also more exposure to Armenian history. A lot of things that we could not have, you know, otherwise had access to. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your initiative. And I know that you'll take it and run with it. I have no doubt. So we are here to work together. Anything you want from us, just let us know how we can be of help. It's a wonderful case. I'd like at some point we have to showcase it as well so that others learn from it. I didn't know that the World Affairs of Council has this kind of educational activities. I know with their seminars here and so on. By the way, the director of World Affairs Councils in San Francisco for many years, it was an Armenian lady. I know her very well, Suzy Altunian. I don't know if you have known her, Michael, or not.
I've never met her.
Resigned 1 year ago. She retired, but she was there for 20 years. She was director.
There are 110 World Affairs Consuls in the United States. I work with the one in Austin here. Actually, I was working with one from Pittsburgh for a long time, and they started they've had educational programs in Pittsburgh for a long period of time, and we did a lot of distance learning with them. And Mary actually has been involved in a couple of those. Well, they changed directors, and then they started one here in Austin, and I wrote them and I emailed them, and they come over to our school, and now we provided internships with World Affairs Council. So I still teach at Del Valley, but we have 7 or 8 students each year that participate with the World Affairs Council, and they take 2 periods a day, and we do all kinds of cool things. This last year, 2 of them obtained their paralegal certificates. So they became paralegals while they're still in high school. We also did one with a gentleman. He graduated in 2019. He wants to become a foreign diplomat. So we had the honorary, we had several, back when we still had things, we had the foreign ambassadors from several countries, and then we had an honorary diplomat from Armenia that lives in Houston, came and talked to us. And that's another thing we want to try to do, is try to get some ministers of education stuff, you know, to try to eventually talk to everybody. So we get one guest speaker and you could do 16 or 17 different countries at the same time. And it's a lot easier to do that. Yeah, that's, you know, that I think that's really fascinating.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, this is a great start. Thanks a lot. And let's move on. Let us know what you need next, and we'll work on it.
Oh, one more thing before we leave. The World Affairs Council has, each council has what's called a Global Scholars Diploma Program. And this Global Scholars Diploma Program, there's only 2 places are really using it, us and in Cincinnati. And the diploma itself is supposed to be given to people, and we'd like to try and make it dynamic, and maybe could go with you guys. And it's supposed to be like a regular high school diploma, but you have to do something different to get it. So one of the things we were trying to make requirements was to do these mock trials, to take a course from our AVC, you know, and different things like this. This makes you more outstanding just than a traditional student. We're trying to make it as a program, instead of just somebody coming and talking to you. We want the students to be able to actively participate. Mary had 2 kids that graduated this last year that participated in mock trials for 3 years. I had a girl that graduated in 2019, and then she graduated from college a couple weeks ago. She was able to get enough college credits to where she started out as a junior, and now she's going to law school. So, you know, we're looking at those type of people to do some really fantastic things, get an extra diploma, and we'd like to use those 15 units. One of the units would be that they have to complete 1 or 2 classes with the AVC program to get it as well.
That will be very good. That will be excellent. Yes. Yes, we can do that, and we can showcase them, and they get the special category with you. That's excellent.
Okay. So I will send you some more follow-up information, and we'll go from here. Thank you so much for everyone today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Have a good, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.